Hello, this is Ben, and what we're looking at in this final part is how to put textures on here so that we can then put them onto our chest. And for the stage 1, guys, that'll be all that you need to be completed for this part. You'll have had your 3D model, your environment asset already modeled up and ready to go. So we so far looked at how to put colors onto these different segments. Now we're going to actually look at how we can put in textures. So these textures are the ones that I got from textures.com. So if you haven't already got a account with that website, I highly recommend it. Very useful for this because all of the textures have to be copyright protected or copyright free, I should say, because if you try and use just things that are not protected, then that becomes, or if you try to use ones that are protected, then that's a breach of copyright. So anyway, textures.com is this sort of a website here. So what you want to look for when you're looking for textures to put in to this sort of a thing, just make sure the internet is still going through. Cool. Is you want to look for these ones with spheres on them because they will come with not just the color map, but also normal maps, roughness maps, and metallic maps. So I've already downloaded these and got them there, but you'll have to look there. You would just want the ones for 1024. You don't have to go higher than that or purchase them. But yeah, that's what we'll be using. So now we're back here in Krita and we've got our texture files. How do we load them in? First things first, we're going to go up here to text settings and go to Dockers, go down here to patterns. And that's going to bring up this. So as you can see, Krita has its own patterns already loaded in. I've done this exercise before, so you'll see a few up here that already have that as well. So we've got 4 textures that we're going to look at: a rusted iron, a bit of a beaten sort of like brass metal, a polished brass metal, and a wood texture. So we're going to start with the wood texture. So we're going to go here and create a new layer. I'm going to call this wood color. So for the first one, you always have to do it in this docker here. So we're going to go open, and then we're going to go across to our wood texture. So in this case, that albedo color there. I'm going to go open. And now I'm going to use the selection tool to just select where I want this texture to appear. So it's going to appear in this one. I'm holding down Shift to extend that, like so. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom here where this wood texture is, and then go up to Edit and Fill with Pattern. And already you can see that's come through like that. So that's all good. But what we now need to consider is how do we get the normal texture on there? Well, we can now right click and go duplicate this layer. I'm going to call this one wood normal. And then I'm going to right click and go layer style. So layer style allows us to put these sort of like overlays on our sort of layer, and we're going to actually put a pattern overlay. So I'm going to check it to make sure it goes through. I'm going to change blend mode from multiply to normal, so it's just a flat over the top texture. So mine's at a different spot than some people's because I've got the latest version. And then we're going to click here, opacity, switch all the way to 100%, and then we're going to add in that next texture. So this is going to be the wood planks normal map. So we're going to go open, scroll down to the bottom, select that, and as you can see, that's going to now overlay on here. And we can see here, with the latest version, we've got a scaling tool there. You may not have that and everything, but that's fine. We're just going to go here and go OK. And then I'm going to repeat that process for all the different layers. So I'm going to go duplicate layer, wood roughness, and then layer style, paint overlay, open, scale down, that's height, that's metallic, roughness, there we are. Click on there, wait for it to change, okay. Wood, metallic, oops, layer style, pattern overlay, open, scroll down to wood planks metallic, and we can see the only metallic part is the nails there. So we're going to go there, scroll down, select that texture, go OK, and there we are. Cool. So now with all of those selected, so I'm just trying to get there, we can now hide the layers we don't want and then bring up this layer and then export this out. So I'm just going to go save as, and instead of flat color, I'm going to go chest texture color, and we're going to save as a PNG. Save. Okay. I'm going to go back here, and then we can apply it just a normal same as we do the color maps and everything. Now this one is not the grey box, good, so this is the old one. So now we're just going to go with this, going to go into here, go assign new material, go Fong E, going to call this one chest mat 3, because I think I've done this a few times now, and then file, open, and then we should see texture color just here. And as you can see now, everything else is still a flat color, but we now have a color there on that one. To follow it up, we also have our normal maps as well. So we're just going to save that out. So go here. So now I'm going to bring that back, save as, instead of color, normal, save. Okay. Open, normal. You can see that's in there now. Roughness, file, open. It's not there yet, but if we go to Krita, roughness, file, save as. Okay. Roughness. Open. And last but not least, metallic goes into specular color, file, open. The good thing about doing this technique, I find anyway, is that if we're looking here at our sort of UV and we decide, you know what, I am not too sure about this, I'm just going to get rid of that checker box. So we've just got the layer. Like, let's say I really want to see those, you know, nails that we just worked so hard getting and everything. I can actually get this and then move them down to a point where I do get the nails. I can even scale this out like so, so we see it on both sides there. So now, I'm just going to uncheck that. When we're going across here, we can definitely see those nails. So it just gives us a bit of a freedom and a bit of workaround if we don't exactly like where our sort of UV has landed. We've got a bit of flexibility there about how we can rearrange our sort of textures out and everything. So we basically repeat that same process that I've just done here for all of these, just with a different texture on here. So I'm going to quickly do it with the sort of brass metal up here just to finish off this lid, but then I'll just keep going with the rest of it off video because it's pretty much the same process and it can get quite repetitive and boring. So I'm going to create a new layer, and then new layer, go up here. I'm going to call this one brass color, and whenever you start a new one, you've always got to do it with this one out here. You can't just go straight to layers, I found anyway. It just tends not to like that. So we're going to go open, go down here to where it's not the rust, it'll be the brass, bronze, there we are. Open, going to scroll down there, and now we're going to select this square up here and go edit, fill with pattern, and that just goes there. Then simply just duplicate brass, normal, right click, style, pattern overlay. You also have to change these every time you do this, unfortunately, but that's just one of the things. So I'm going to go down, brass, that's polished, I don't want that one, I want the bronze. Open, layer style. And what we're going to have to do after we do all this is then just arrange some of these layers into different groups so that they don't collide with each other. So brass, roughness, select, okay, duplicate layer, brass, metallic, left click, layer style, pattern overlay, open, and that's the height map, metallic, there we go, and then click on that one, okay, excellent, alright, so I'm just going to get rid of this one so we've got a bit more space to see. So now that we can see all these ones here, what I want to do is group them up. So I'm going to hold down Control, select both of those, press Control G, and that's going to create a new group here. I'm going to call it metallic. Then hide that one. And we're going to go normal, normal, Control G, normal, and then roughness, roughness, Control G, roughness, and then color, color, G, color, and then there's metallic. So now what I can do is I can save this out as color first. So save, and where's my other one that I just saved? Texture, color. I'm going to go save, it's going to ask to overwrite it, I'm going to say yes, and okay, I'm going to hide that, save as, metallic, yes, okay, and so no matter how complex I make this, it's just as simple as just going through this process and just replacing the other ones, and it will update in Maya. So if I go here to roughness, save, yes, and then normal, save, yes, okay, excellent. So now if I come back here, we can see most part, switch on lights, switch on lights, okay, cool, and there it is. As you can see it updating now, and that brass is on there, and it's a very different normal from this, a very different metallic surface from this, and this is how we get it so that even though it's just using the one material, it uses the maps and masks to be able to put on different effects to different parts of it, and that's the whole idea behind it. So like I said, like I'm not going to go through the whole texturing the whole thing because it's going to be very much the same process the whole way through. But yeah, that's basically how we go about that. I'll just show you though that if I go here and go chest matte, that will also apply it to down here as well because we've already mapped that out, okay? So that's pretty much all. Again, brass and iron, I'll save for a later time, but it's the same process, I guarantee you. But yeah, that is how you then texture once you have UV mapped it, and it will, even though it seems like a lot of effort setting this all up, it does save a lot of time, and it does make sure that these all line up properly. It gives you a lot of flexibility there. So anyway, have a go. I'm looking really forward to seeing what people can come up with. And as with every step of the way, like you may get to this point and be like, oh, I wish I'd modeled it this way, or I wish I'd modeled it that way. And that's the whole point of going through the entire pipeline in one go first, so that for the next asset you model for the environment, you might look at a different way of modeling it or UV unwrapping it to get the most out of these textures, okay? So anyway, have fun, and I'll see you next time.